All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about the ghost in the machine. And no, not just the saying. We're talking about the strange, powerful, psychological forces that are shaping how we all see artificial intelligence. So, have you ever felt that weird whiplash you get when you think about AI? I mean, one minute it feels like this incredible world-changing miracle, and the next, it's this monster at the gates, ready to tear everything down. It's a really powerful paradox, and almost everyone feels it. And let's just break that down for a second. On one side, you have this incredible dream, right? AI could cure diseases, maybe solve climate change. It could even end the daily grind of work as we know it. But then, there's the other side, the nightmare. Mass unemployment, losing control of our own creations, and some people are even talking about human extinction. The stakes just feel impossibly high. But what if this whole intense back and forth debate isn't really about the tech? What if our obsession with AI, all the hopes and all the fears, points to something way deeper? Something about us? I mean, think about it. We don't talk about spreadsheets or databases with this level of religious awe and terror, do we? We're treating AI less like a piece of software that we're building and a lot more like some powerful, unseen force that is arriving. And to really get what's happening right now, well, we actually have to look backward, because this exact same pattern, this exact same feeling has played out before. We just have to know where to look. And in this case, we need to look up. That's right. UFOs. We're going to go back to the mid-20th century, a time when the whole world was completely gripped by this obsession with flying saucers and strange things in the sky. Now, stay with me here, because the connection is, well, it's pretty mind-blowing. So, the brilliant psychologist Carl Jung, he looked at this whole UFO thing, and he asked a totally different kind of question. He wasn't really concerned with whether aliens were literally landing in farmers' fields. He wanted to know, why now? Why is society suddenly seeing these things everywhere? What did it mean for us, psychologically? And this gets us right to the heart of Jung's idea, the concept of projection, the idea that the human mind, our minds, will project our deepest hopes and fears onto something we don't understand. So let's unpack the psychological machinery that's driving all of this. Okay, first you gotta get this one key idea, the collective unconscious. Jung's theory was that underneath all our personal thoughts and memories, there's this deeper layer of the mind that we all share. It's inherited, like a universal wellspring of symbols and patterns that he called archetypes. So what happens when an entire society feels lost? When we feel spiritually empty, in what Jung might call a meaning crisis? Well, that's when the collective unconscious kicks into gear. It generates what he called a visionary rumor, basically a modern myth that we project onto some big, unknown thing that's powerful enough to contain all of our shared hopes and anxieties. And boom, this explains Jung's whole take on UFOs perfectly. In the shadow of the Cold War, with the threat of the atomic bomb, people felt terrified and totally powerless. So UFOs became this perfect blank screen. We projected everything onto them. Our terror of being wiped out by some hostile other, but also our deep hope for salvation from some godlike, super advanced power from the stars. Which brings us right back to today. I mean, let's be honest, we live in another age of profound anxiety about the climate, about politics, about our future. So if we're in a similar kind of meaning crisis, what is our modern-day flying saucer? And this, right here, is where it all clicks into place. The new screen for all our projections, it isn't in the sky anymore. No, it's in the cloud. It's artificial intelligence. Of course it is. It's the absolute perfect blank screen for our time. It's vague enough, it's powerful enough, and it's mysterious enough to hold every single one of our dreams and all of our nightmares. AI has become the visionary rumor of the 21st century. And just look at the parallels. They're absolutely stunning when you lay them out. The mysterious other that used to come from the sky, now it comes from the cloud. The promise of being rescued from nuclear war, that's morphed into the promise of salvation from all of humanity's problems. And the fear of a hostile invasion, that's now the fear of an uncontrollable rogue AI. It is literally the same psychological pattern, just wearing a new technological costume. And if you dig just a little deeper, you find something even crazier. We aren't even inventing new stories for AI. We are just channeling these ancient myths, these archetypes that have been part of the human story for thousands and thousands of years. And we basically see two big ones playing out over and over. First, you've got the technological savior. This is the myth of a benevolent, almost godlike intelligence that's going to come and fix everything for us. But then there's the dark side, the flip side of that coin, the sorcerer's apprentice. That's the ancient, ancient fear of a creation that we can no longer control, a power that we unleash that turns on its own master. You know, these stories feel so powerful and so real because they're not just about computers. They are timeless human patterns bubbling up from that deep, shared part of our minds, that collective unconscious. We've been telling ourselves versions of these exact same tales forever. Okay, so here's the bottom line, the crucial point of all this. Our crazy, intense debate about AI, it's not just a rational discussion about technology. It is a massive psychological projection. AI is basically functioning as a living myth for our modern times. It reflects both our desperate need for a savior and our primal fear of what we can't control. And once you understand that, you can finally start to separate the actual tool from the incredible mythology we've wrapped around it. And that leaves us with one last big question. If AI really is a mirror reflecting back our collective hopes, our fears, our spiritual needs, what does that reflection truly tell us about where we are right now?